Stay tuned for... Hello, my name is Julia Yamaguchi.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Gamble.
And you're watching the K&J News. For the first story of the day, Kimberly will be talking about the walkathon at Notre Dame.
All right. On Friday, April 24th, Notre Dame High School in Salinas will be having its third annual Spirits Ignite Walkathon. This is to raise money for the school, and every Notre Dame student is encouraged to raise at least $150, and there's a grand prize for participating students. For more information on how to sponsor a student or donate, you can visit NotreDameSalinas.org. Recently, at the Northridge Mall in Salinas, there was an interesting incident at their Victoria's Secret, and Julia will tell you a little bit more about that.
In Salinas, a 30-year-old man appeared to be snapping photos under a woman's skirt in Victoria's Secret on Monday at the Northridge Mall in Salinas. The woman was a Victoria's Secret employee. The employee thought that the man appeared to be suspicious as he was wandering around the store. The man dropped a small camera between her feet to get a shot of the employee's skirt. When she confronted the suspicious man, he grabbed the camera and quickly left the store. Police are worried that the man may upload these photos up to the internet and cause more trouble. Luckily, this man has been identified and is currently on the search for this man.
It is that time of year again. The Sea Otter Classic is coming to town, April 16th through the 19th. The Sea Otter Classic will be hosted at the Laguna Seca in Monterey. The Sea Otter Classic is a road bike race, and road bikers come from all over the country to compete in this race and other competitive events. Most of the bikers are professional bikers who are sponsored by different companies. However, non-professionals can also register independently. When the Sea Otter Classic first started in 1991, there were 350 athletes and 150 spectators, but now there are 10,000 athletes and 65,000 fans. This event has grown throughout the years and has become, according to the Sea Otters Classic website, now universally regarded as the world's premier cycling festival. Recently, there's been discussion of a woman going on the $20 bill, and Julia will talk a little bit more about that.
A group called W20 are trying to put a woman on the $20 bill since there are only men on all of the dollar bills. They want a woman to be on the bill by 2020 because it would be the 100th anniversary of the woman's right to vote, which is the 19th Amendment. So far, they have narrowed it down to 4 women to be on the $20 bill, which is Eleanor Roosevelt, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks, and Mankiller. All of these women have passed away and left great legacies on empowering women.
On February 25th, Notre Dame High School hosted a blood drive in their gym, and I had a wonderful opportunity to interview with the person in charge of Notre Dame's blood drive, Ms. Fry.
Different than usual because we went with the American Red Cross, and for so many years I used to go with our local hospital, CHOMP, the Community Hospital of the Monterey Peninsula. But it went really well. It was a very successful blood drive. And people were able to sign up online from outside of the community, which added to the amount of units that we collected. So this year we did quite well. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. The whole idea is the fact that when you donate blood, you are saving a life. And that is what motivates you. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just a tiny little pinch. In some cases, they may numb you in the spot where you're going to give blood. Sometimes they don't. The people that do it are very experienced. This is what they do, and they're used to high school students that go, ooh, I'm so afraid. But there is absolutely nothing to be afraid of. Just knowing that you're saving a life, that is the whole premise behind this. To say a balanced breakfast, not a Pop-Tart and a Red Bull. That is not a balanced breakfast. You know, eating oatmeal, a bagel, a banana, stay hydrated. You know, the week following up, make sure you have plenty of green vegetables. For high school students, especially girls, one of the problems that they can't give blood is that their iron is low. But definitely a solid, good breakfast. The organizational part, I do it. I've done it for many, many years, but it's getting the kids out of class, and which they love, of course. But the worst part is after someone gives blood and they get a little lightheaded and they go, "Oh, Miss Fry," and you know, they get just a little woozy. So the nurses are always there, and we've never had any really big issues. Probably buy more bagels and peanut butter and chocolate. Everybody likes that after the blood drive. I think the satisfaction to see so many kids that want to donate blood, because there's a saying, when you donate as a high school student, you become a donor for life. So when you go off to college, there are blood drives, and you could continue to do that, or you could go into any American Red Cross center and donate blood, or even our local hospital, CHOMP. So once you've started this, you can do it for life.
Well, thank you, Ms. Fry, for interviewing with us, and we hope that next year's blood drive goes well.
Well, thank you so much. I think that you guys have done an outstanding job.
Thank you. In North Charleston, South Carolina, a police officer by the name Michael T. Slager is charged with murder of Walter Scott. And Julia Yamaguchi will give you more information on this topic.
Officer Slager shot Scott 8 times in the back, and he was pronounced dead on the scene. This began when Officer Slager pulled over Scott for having a broken tail light. Scott then proceeded to run away. Officer Slager then tried to fire his taser at Scott, but failed to bring him down. Officer Slager then shot Scott 8 times in the back, killing Scott. Later, Officer Slager defended himself by claiming that Scott managed to take away his taser from him. But what Officer Slager did not know was that the eyewitness filmed everything of what happened. In the video, it shows Officer Slager shoot Scott 8 times. Once Scott collapsed on the ground, Officer Slager runs over to Scott and drops what seems to look like a taser next to Scott's body. Officer Slager does this to make it seem that Scott was at fault for this situation. The police report states that officers were giving CPR and delivered first aid for Scott. But according to the video, Scott was handcuffed, face down, dead, and was never performed CPR. Because of the eyewitness video, Officer Slager is charged with murder of Walter Scott.
On Friday, April 10th, at the Hyatt Regency Monterey, the American Cancer Society had a fashion show luncheon. This year marks the American Cancer Society's 21st annual event. The Celebration of Life fashion show, in just a little over 20 years, has raised almost $1 million for the Central Coast Unit Office of the American Cancer Society. During this event, cancer survivors, or those still battling cancer, modeled clothes from a variety of different stores. This event also had a raffle and silent auction. All in all, this event helped raise money for the American Cancer Society's Central Coast Unit Office and showed support for cancer survivors or victims.